Vitrectomy use le wheel de silicone. All of us are trying not to use the silicone, but we are obliged in many conditions to use it. But if you have a case of operated for vitrectomy, laser, silicone oil injection, you may have a recurrent PVR or recurrent PDR. In these situations, you have to remove the silicone completely. You have to revise your vitrectomy, peeling membrane, injection de PFCL, endolaser, and re-injection to the wheel de silicone. Very long surgery takes a long of time. But is it essential? No, it is not essential. You can operate under the silicone. We can introduce the silicone through the infusion here. We can introduce the silicone through this infusion and introduce the instruments as usual in the light, cutter, and different scissors and forceps. In this case, it is an operated for retinal detachment, the modèle de la rétine, and il a la membrane ici après un mois. I can't remove the silicone so early like this, so I have to do surgery. I'm operating the surgery while the silicone is inside. I can inject dye like this Tribane Blue. I can use the vitreous cutter to remove these membranes. As you can see, the vitreous cutter works under the silicone. Also, you can use le pince pour enlever cette membrane de la nerf optique and de la rétine. C'est très simple. Because the retina is pushed by the silicone in place. The silicone push the retina down. So it is easy to remove this membrane while the silicone inside the eye. As you can see, it is removed completely. Another case also of a membrane, another is sur le nerf optique. I'm using the vitreous cutter to cut these membranes. Actually, there is a very thin layer of fluid between the silicone and the retina. And we are playing in this area. We are using different instruments. You can use the cutter in this thin fluid area between the retina and the even sometimes you have a subretinal membrane. This is one of the most difficult parts. This is a diabetic patient. He was operated and by vitrectomy and laser and silicone oil injection, but he has a subretinal membrane. And it's so early to remove the silicone, and there is a great risk of recurrence of detachment if I remove the silicone and remove the membrane at the same time. So I am applying the thermi, and with this forceps, I am holding the membrane, pulling this membrane tangentially while the silicone inside. Actually, the silicone bezo retina, it pushes the retina in its place. It's very helpful in this procedure. It should be pulled tangentially. Avoid pulling postero-anterior to avoid detachment of the retina. As you can see, you can pull it do small, tangential, and you should take care not to develop a retinal break. It's easier than do it without silicone or the presence of the fluid, because everything in its place. As you can see, the membrane is removed completely. After that, you can do fluid exchange. You can spray the fluid which is present under the retina, and you can do like this, and you can do laser photocoagulation for this part. Here is another case, 360 degrees, retinotomy and retinectomy, and we have a membrane in the center. The same way, you can go and remove this membrane. So simple to remove it like this. So we can dive under the silicone and do everything under the silicone like this membrane. You can hold it like this and pull it tangentially from the surface of the retina. without any problem. Okay, thank you for your attention.